attending. We know it's sometimes a little bit difficult. Please always remember this is an IETF official meeting, and everything you say at the mic or at the mic at home will be recorded.
And I also see as if there is a big blast radius. People are moving away from us. Is it like, are we scary, or it's like, what's going on? Come on.
Also, the chairs might be intimidating, but that is a minor detail. So come and come on, clicky. We did. It's green, and it's not doing the clicky click.
Okay, so in this case, I'll revoke it, and then I'll just do it myself.
Excellent. So this is a Thursday meeting. Most of you might be already familiar with the node well. If you're not, please find it here. This is basically about the code of conduct. So everything, again, as I said, what you'll say and write down here in the chat will become public, and therefore take care. We have a strict anti-harassment procedure. We always hope that everything goes fine, but sometimes it's like in school, and in the back row, the problem is, and we know nobody knows, you can approach us or the ombuds team if there's something happening in the IETF that you feel not comfortable with. So we are open ear for that, and that doesn't have to be right now. It can be in private. That is the note. Really well, actually, what I just said. So skipping that, because that was the topic, we have a relatively, just can go ahead, next slide. We have a few tips. There are QR codes here. If you would like to help us understand how large the rooms should be, please scan the code, use the on-site tool to, for example, raise your hand. In order to raise your hand, there is a hand symbol in the on-site tool or the full video tool. That's very important, so people that are not attending on-site but remotely can also queue as fairly as you do in the room. Next slide, please. If you find some problems with Meet Echo, that actually sometimes happens, here are cool links to help us improve Meet Echo, especially the issue link at the bottom. Next slide. I have almost introduced us. We are the chairs, my dear co-chair Alexei and myself, Hank, are chairing IoT Ops. We need minutes takers. We have one minute taker, immediately first row. And that might be enough for also today. Our working group status is relatively.
The agenda in the data tracker is last week's time with this year's date.
Curious. Sorry. We are not as well prepared as we think.
The date is correct. It says 121, and the contents are from public.
So it's saying 121. It's not correct, because we are to 122. I think it's the wrong note. Anyway, yeah, just fix that. Okay. We have 3 adopted items. All of them have moved since IETF 1 to 1. Content-wise, not so significantly much. That has reasons, of course. A lot of people are very busy, and we had some offer priorities that we had to manage here. So there will be more movement on this document in the next iteration. Most importantly, we have an agenda. Next slide, please. And that is a very lofty agenda, because we are in the progress of rechartering. We were chartered in a specific way that we will come into details to when the there's a link in there, cool. But we are doing rechartering, and we'll have that as a topic for today. We prepared the additional slides to check out what this chartering is looking like and what the current proposal is. And Francesca is in the queue.
You're on the previous slide, technically, right?
Yes.
On this.
If you could back to the previous slide. So, hi, Francesca. As an author of the comparison of co-op security protocols, yes, we have recently updated the document, and we authors consider that we are done. We have addressed all the comments, and basically the document is just waiting on CTLS, which is a normative reference and which at the moment is a draft and expired in TLS working group. So we don't foresee any more changes unless there is anything changes in CTLS, of course. but yeah, we're just waiting on that, and maybe it's good to, I don't know, ping the TLS working group or chairs, and yeah, no more updates planned.
That is an excellent task for the chairs of this working group to do. So we'll take that action on and hunt some authors and maybe some higher ranking IETF leadership and try to make that work. Thank you very much. That's awesome news. Michael.
I don't think CTLS will ever get published. So if you have a normative reference, I think you should pick your document to not have a normative reference.
I mean, it's one of the protocols that we do the comparison for in that document. So it would be a significant change to remove it.
Well, it might require some figuring that out. Again, we can start it a little bit, but Karst might also have an opinion about that. He's in the queue.
If I'm writing an internet draft about the level of the pollution of a lake, I don't need to make a normative reference to that lake. The lake is just there. And what this document does is it tells you what the characteristics of what we have is. There is no normative reference.
I mean, if CTLS changes, the numbers of the document will change. So we want to have like a stable version of CTLS and a reference to it.
Yeah, but you also want to publish the thing at some point. And if CTLS doesn't move, then it's better to have a document out there that tells you what the situation was with CTLS version 17. Yeah, the stable reference is an internet draft.
Okay, there might be different opinions on if it's appropriate to reference an expired internet draft, even only just as an informational reference. And we will definitely have the conversation with the ISG when the time comes. But I would hope that CTLS would get at least in some sort of stable form, and we'll see, possibly published. But yeah, definitely something to check on.
So let's see, that is maybe the plan B. Let's find out what if this document is solvable. Salvageable, I want to say. And I don't want to put you on the spot, Matt, but also, dear new AD, what is your opinion about a reference here and normativeness?
Actually, I didn't read the document so far. I was just skimming it, but I would say I have a base principle here. I would be really pragmatic. That means that.
And Mike.
Yeah, that means that if the document is waiting, because I saw that the history here is that it was waiting for many years. So I don't think that it makes sense just to continue keeping this document waiting for, I would say, for CTLS. We can give ourselves, for example, some few weeks if that's maybe helpful, but I don't think that this will be unlocking this document. So yeah, be pragmatic, focus on what we can right now, and then we can iterate in the next version if the CTLS will finalize in the future.
Mm-hmm. Francesca?
Yeah, sorry, I made a mistake. It's not a normative reference. It's already an informative reference. It's a, but yeah, it's expired. Like CTLS is still expired.
Yeah, but it's a stable reference.
Yeah, but
yeah.
That one is not problematic at all.
Yeah.
Even if it is expired, it's not a problem in that case.
Okay, so question is, if CTLS is never published, is there a point in publishing a document?
There are other protocols.
Yeah.
Discussed. Yes.
Again, I would be really pragmatic here, and it's years that this document is standing here. So please focus on I would say, the key contribution for it. Think more within removing it or keeping it is really worth. Personally, I would recommend we do the right thing to progress the document rather than just, I would say, keeping these cycles more and more.
So in summary, if the reference today is already informational, we can still check if there's the energy and the will and the people to progress it. I think that is still a task we can take on, but we can also proceed with the process. in the same time, so we don't we paralyze, as we say, and I think that's a good idea. Michael, you still have your hand up. Good. Coming to the Phantom agenda with the Phantom link again. Most of our time today we will spend on the rechartering proposals. These are elegantly snippeted into digestible slides that Alexei was so kind to prepare. And so I'm handing the mic over to you.
Okay. No.
As soon as we are able to share them.
Share the same slide.
I sorted them.
Okay, so we actually did start discussion last time in Dublin, and we had earlier version of the charter, and this is updated version based on our new area director's feedback, which was quite sensible. If I missed a few things, I do apologize, so do double check. Yeah, so here we're just trying to show major changes. We deleted some working groups which concluded. So not super interesting. Then there was some new text about allowing standards track and BCP for specific MUD documents. The text was a bit unclear which exception was to what, so I think amalgamating sentences just made it slightly clearer that we don't work in other working groups except for what is listed below. And then for other work, IOTOPS still help identify candidate venues and as before. So we kind of have dispatch function, and
Yes.
but we can also take on some work.
Yeah, and let me quickly add, that was an interesting point of contention back in the days when we chartered. Can we be a working group and dispatch? So can we cherry pick? But we define our cherry picking well now, and it seems to be working out. So that is an interesting, I think, lesson learned here, because we started with the assumption that you cannot be a place for dispatch and also work on items. That was a very, very initial idea that was disputed. And I think the text we have now actually makes that workable. But our idea is at the mic.
Yeah.
Without raising his hand.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, the function of dispatch and also working on item is not something which is really new. Ops working group this is what they are doing. This is the dispatch, I would say, for the ops area, and they are adopting, I would say, items. So.
Yeah, I've never personally perceived OPSA as a dispatch, but if you look at it, if you squint at it hard, it actually might have been, yes. Maybe that should go into the charter.
Right. So the next block is so this is the new specific standards track BCP documents we are working on. MUD discovery solutions, configuration, backup, and recovery, software firmware update solutions, and I changed including discovery and distribution to focusing on discovery and distribution to minimize potential. That was your suggestion, right?
Yeah. I think for this one, at least for MUD, but we think that we need to remove the discovery there to be the reference here. That will be this working group will be covering every items about MUD. We discussed this with the chairs of the OPSA working group. They are fine with it. Mahesh is fine with this. So just put their MUD solution for that part.
Sorry. Could you repeat the solution, the summarizing?
Yeah, just delete discovery for the MUD stuff for the first bullet.
MUD discovery is basically redundant, and also it's in the bottom item. That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that changes not specifically to discovery, just say MUD solutions.
Yeah, and the discovery at the bottom.
The word discovery.
Yes.
Yeah,
MUD solution.
Yes.
Okay.
and still software firmware upgrade solution focusing on discovery is fine.
That one is okay.
Perfect. Yeah, because MUD is somehow discovery. Yeah.
Exactly. For the third one, it's good, but we need to double check with the, I would say, the suite working group that they are fine with what we are seeing here. So that's our understanding of the work. But I would really like we double check this with them so that we are really online, that there is no overlapping.
Excellent.
Okay.
So Michael Richardson at the mic. So the part of the reason why I wanted to put this in there is that there are other software and firmware update solutions that are not suit. They are perhaps very vendor proprietary of the format, and suit is focused on the format. And what I'm concerned about is that IoT network operators would like to have a common way to distribute the updates, even if they are of a variety of different formats. Okay. That's why I think it's important there. Yeah.
These two items can be combined, but they don't both have to be from the IETF. That's absolutely correct.
So just to double check, you were just justifying that the current list is fine as opposed to suggesting any changes, right?
Correct.
Okay. Right. Thank you. Okay. So this is section which is mostly unchanged from the original. It started in earlier versions. It was saying non-standard track document in IOTOPS are restricted to. Then there was an observation that some operation guidelines can be BCP. So instead of saying, trying to do a negative, I converted it to a positive of saying informational BCP documents. And then listing this. And then next slide is continuation. I think Matt again observed that Karsten's document actually was not covered by the charter because of terminology and it's not requirements. So specifically, we added and terminology to make it in scope. And I think that's it. Yeah, last slide.
Exactly. So the reporting was because the IoT Ops working group was starting as an experiment, so to speak, for other people to have a landing platform and also discuss the items by the charter, of course. So that paragraph was removed, not because we are lazy and hate it, but because it seemed to be unnecessary now that we are in a running mode. There's also a good overlap of authors here with Suite. So I think Brandon, who is responsible of one of the adopted IDs that is not the terminology one, is basically author of all Suite IDs, and he's okay with it. Of course, we will talk to the chairs, but I think we've talked with one main contributor on that working group, and that is a good litmus test for that. So this is going to be our proposal going out. Matt, is that fine with you? Would you push buttons, press processes, thingies, and such?
Yeah, I think this is I would say it's in good shape. Just do the last check I mentioned about the suite working group. Once you have a go from the chairs or whatever, then tell me. We'll process.
Okay. Do you just want us informally to reach out? Okay. All right.
Just send them the.
Fine.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think every other hand is an artifact. Michael?
I'm talking with something after the charter.
Okay. That's right.
So I don't know if it's the right time to ask the question or just get an input on that. Regarding the charter of the group and the work that's being done on all the equivalent topics in matter, overlaps or complementary all these aspects, just trying to understand how the work done here will be used or not used by other standard bodies.
If I understand it correctly, as long as we produce a RFC in the end, the output can be, of course, used in the both informational or standards track way as usual. Then we have some outputs that are less tangible. For example, presentations about new technologies and questions where to go. Is the IETF the right place to go? This is the dispatch function. That is, of course, harder to digest by other SDOs. So basically, it is like a little bit on the chairs, a little bit on the members and the participants of this working group to bring interesting items here and talk about it. So if for example, this is not a liaison statement relationship, but if interested parties find something that is an update to a topic we had before, at the very start of this working group, we had like 3 sessions, basically only about bootstrapping and initializing and provisioning of IoT devices. If there's a new event, Meta is now not Meta anymore. For example, they changed the name again. That could come here and would be an interesting topic to talk about. Why did that happen and so on. So I think that is something that is less obvious to use here as an output, but that is something that is important to everybody, I think. Would that answer some of your question?
Partially. Let's go with it right now.
Okay. Yeah, then it's you again, Matt.
There's just one last point that I have forgotten is about the. I think I have asked to have at least 2 milestones proposal for just candidate milestones for just to show that we know that we have something on which I would say there is interest to work on. Mm-hmm. And I remember that Mikael said that this is not a problem. So if you can just I would say list at least 2 in the I would say when we will ask for the rechartering. That's where I would say save us some cycles because people they will just ask the questions whether we have something to work on or not.
You're happy to use our like existing documents, or you thinking about MUD stuff?
Yes,
specifically.
Yes, yeah. At least MUD stuff because I think that those will be coming to the working groups. We have also the other I would say corollary item is that there's a document in the OPSA working group that we think that it will move to this working group. So. I don't know how we will handle this, but at least, we have that as an item that we can add as I would say, a milestone. But if you have another one which is not MUD, I would be happy.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense, and I think any any dispatch function from OPSA you can basically, if you like to trigger that, just email both sets of chairs and then initiate the contact, and we can do the rest. For example, yes. Especially other working groups at all. So if a working group doesn't have the bandwidth to do MUD or has some, it's a low priority, I think it's still a good idea to maybe talk to them and ask if this is the right place for it.
Is it just one document from Elliot, or do we know?
At least one.
At least one. All right. Okay. Any other comments on the charter? If not, we're in any other business part.
Michael at the mic. So we did not have an item here for the 7228 BIS, the terminology document. That's okay, but because I think actually last time we had many requests go out for review of it.
And we got at least one.
We got at least one. And I sent a number of requests on other channels to some other entities and received some messages of, oh, that's a great document. Thank you very much. and I was like, okay, can I like share your name and blah, blah, blah. And then I got radio silence. So trying to report that I think it's a good enough document that no one feels they can add anything to it at this time. And we should just working group last call it.
Yeah, that's a good definition of being ready for working group last
Yeah.
call, isn't it?
There's nothing else anyone could
Although, like, so the last round, at least one comment, I haven't seen a reply, so there was a long review.
Yeah.
So okay, so there's some editing to do by the
Well,
authors. I know it's
if-
Karsten and I don't
yeah,
know who else.
yeah.
But I know he has lots of documents to edit, so maybe he'll let someone else
Okay.
lead. But that's it. And so yeah, that.
Yeah, and if help is required to operationalize some of the review feedback and make that content, authors that are overloaded can always give a hint to the chairs, and we can try to find some help. I think that's always an option. We are here to help, basically. Is there any other business, on-site or remote? Going once, going twice. Then this is officially the shortest IoT Ops meeting we had yet. And we can give everybody about half an hour of their life back. Thank you very much. That was quite efficient and nice to have. And so see you all in, I think it's Madrid, in about 45 Celsius degree. I mean Madrid.
But it looks like, hopefully, if we recharter soon, then we'll have plenty of new documents to accept and start adoption calls and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Exactly. Have a fine IETF meeting and survive Friday. This morning,